And I know Big Time and Sean Ross stepping on his toes right now. I don't know about a thing. But, he's still one of my guys. I like to watch. He's still once in a while.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quite so thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
Oh, to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy, the enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me, I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this, freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus, living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it, go on and take your aim, yeah.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the VOW Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at Stocktoncon.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of Stocktoncon. The value of wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that part. Hey, man, shout out to Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. We gonna shut this shit down. Love and respect, all right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are live. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. Join in the conversation. Join into the chat. Let's get this party running. I can get this right. Let's get this party started. This is the Value Wrestling. This is your Raw review for September 16th, 2024 on the Big Time, along with Mr. Paulus, Clarke, and the big man of the Value Wrestling, the Choppy Survivor. 2 rounds in the Choppy World Tour of the Month. The only Mr. Z. Mr. Z, I see you're still standing tall and breathing. How you feeling tonight?
Very sore. Very sore. Chima's got one hell of a chop.
Yes. Yes, you took that chop like a man and came back at it and still continued to show an amazing time last night at Supreme Pro Wrestling. Complete the 5th. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of excitement last night up in Elk Grove at the Indoor Soccer Arena, or the SPW Arena, like we love to call it. Lots of fun. They're going to come back next month on October 20th for Supreme Pro Wrestling's I forget what it's called off the top of my head. There's too many words in that sentence, and I have to look it up real quick. It's going to be Ghouls, Frights, and Wrestling Tight, all going down at the Soccer World Indoor Arena in Elk Grove, California. So we're going to be there. I don't know what Mr. Z is. Oh, he's got to eat himself a drinky. He's got a little bit of Taco Bell. Please do not eat the Taco Bell now. Eat it after the show, because we need to get you through the show. We don't need any emergencies. Marty.
Oh, Callie's in love with me.
What's up, Samoan Watchman? Choppy, yes. If you haven't seen the video of Mr. Z taking another chop from SPW, plead the fifth last night. He got caught in the ring with Chima, the Punjabi lion. And yeah, it was a good time. Hello, sorry, a cat just jumped in my lap. Anywho, the cat wants attention and wants love. As far as Marty goes, I think Marty has shown his last signs here, and we'll be moving on in this world. As I announced earlier, he's no longer with the Value of Wrestling. Sometimes you go out there and try things. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But we wish the best to Marty in his future endeavors. Who knows? Maybe someday he'll return. But for now, Marty is no longer a part of the Value of Wrestling. Anyway, gentlemen, how are we feeling tonight about Monday Night Raw?
Pretty solid.
Yes.
It was solid. It was solid for what it was. That's for sure.
And
I remember this was TV. It's like, but no one was going to expect pay-per-view quality tonight. No one was expecting big surprises or anything.
No.
But it was a good Monday.
The Watchman, Simone Watchman over here, he's talking about Choppy. We're talking about Choppy World Tours, but he's talking about the annual, I forget how many years ago, he's talking about Kai and Ty's Choppy on Val Venus.
Right.
Way back in the day. I forget how long that's been. It's been a minute, but that definitely went down many, many years ago.
I don't think we can convince Mr. Z to have anything to do with that version.
No, that ain't happening.
And now Big Time's thinking about it. Oh, snap.
No.
Who's got on a sword?
No.
Did we reenact that? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's your Monday Night Raw review show. Mr. Z last night survived a choppy World Tour with Chima. And again, as always, I think me and Mr. Z are more than appreciative, humble, blessed, and genuinely just thankful for the opportunities that we have been afforded with Supreme Pro Wrestling, with Scoot, Sir Samurai, all the stars at the Value at Supreme Pro Wrestling, all the stars that come out each and every time and greet us and welcome us with warm arms, and the amazing loyal fan base that Supreme Pro Wrestling has. As we were there and they were cheering us, they loved us, they welcomed us in. The whole staff, all the people that helped make that show come together, and I don't think people really understand how many people it takes to get a show like that. Even though it may be an independent show, it still takes a lot of people, and they all welcomed us all in. They all come and meet and greet us. We met Supreme Pro Wrestling's president last night, so that was a big deal. He was there in action, having some fun. Well, he wasn't in wrestling action, but he was doing what presidents of a company like that do. But it was a fun time, and it's all getting better. We can't wait to see what the future holds. And everybody's quiet. Are we dying? Did something happen?
No.
Are we dying now?
No, we're not dead yet. I'm still alive.
Anyways, we know that Supreme Pro Wrestling. What? Okay, Mr. Z went bye-bye, so we. AT&T hates Mr. Z tonight, so we're just gonna have to ride that wave and ride that lightning. So we'll see how that works. Anyways, it was Monday Night Raw. It was a dang good show. I think it started off solid. All building up to Bad Blood. I think Mr. Z's back. Are you back, Mr. Z? Are you with us? Are you here? I don't know. Okay. No? Yes? Hello?
Oh, I'm here. AT don't like.
Yes. That's everything kind of going nutty here. What are we looking at?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, AT&T is making a little bit of a struggle, but we're okay. We'll level out here in a minute, and we'll get everything going. We thank everybody for being here. We thank you for being in the chat. You what?
AT&T, the purveyor of the struggle bus.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyways, Mr. C, how do you feel about last night with Supreme Pro Wrestling?
It's a great show. The community came together big time for, no pun intended, for Twitch last night. Torchy coming up short on his big title match, but overall it was a great show.
Yes,
not including the Choppy World Tour.
Yes,
but yeah, great night.
And I believe they were able to raise over $800 for Torchy. Something I got information. So that's awesome. Went all to a good cause. But we're going to get into Raw. We'll come back around to some of Supreme Pro Wrestling and Lodi Comic-Con. That's coming up. Some of those events, some of the other things that are coming up, and what to expect the rest of this week on the Value of Wrestling. So we'll get into Raw. Then we'll come back at the end of this show. So stay with us. We got some major announcements, including Supreme Pro Wrestling, Lodi Comic-Con. We're going to talk about AJ Kirsch and other things that are going on that we have coming up. Especially, you want to know everything that's going to go down on Sunday's episode of the Weekly Roundup. If everything goes according to plan, Sunday's episode will be the big celebration for the Value of Wrestling. It'll be the time, it'll be the place that a lot of things are going to go down. It's going to be fun. So be here. And yes, Bronson Reed is a beast. They are finally making Bronson Reed feel special. They're making him feel like a beast. And we're going to talk all about that right here on your Monday Night Raw post-show review. We're building the Bad Blood on Saturday, October 5th. It's going to be live in Atlanta, Georgia. And we had a bunch of great stuff. Some great matches happening tonight. Sheamus and Pete Dunne, Natalya, Zoe Stark, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio tied it up in the main event. Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed having another barn burner. The World Tag Team Championships were on the line as the New Day took on Judgment Day, and CM Punk was here, and CM Punk was here for sure, because that's exactly what we opened the show with, is CM Punk coming out with his gravelly voice, talking about his match coming up on October 5th at Bad Blood. Punk said that despite the best efforts of his family, his wife, his sister, telling him, no, don't do this match, he is going to tell us why he's going to do this match. And he's going to go to war with his sworn enemy because the devil told him to. He admitted that he really can't afford a Hell in a Cell match at this point in his career, but if that match means the end of his career, so be it. He said, it will be, if I die, so be it. He came out and said, I'm going to be the devil. I'm going to take Drew to hell. And this is one of the better Punk promos we've seen in a long time. He's basically like, you're going to have to kill me. I'm going to die. And if that's what's going to happen, then so be it. He's accepted his fate. And I think they have definitely set up what looks like CM Punk to probably go over in this match with this just amazing promo. I know we still got some time to build. We got a couple more weeks. But after this promo, you're just kind of like, Punk's got to win. I mean, he's bringing back the devil. He's coming in. This was intense. This was great Punk promo work. When you think Punk doesn't have it, all of a sudden he finds something a little bit different, and he pulls a little bit back out of that old pocket. This was very indie CM Punk, very Ring of Honor day of the devil stuff, and it was a good, solid promo. This started off and kept Raw at a high fever pitch. He didn't promise he was going to win, but he did promise he was going to bleed, and he promised, you're going to have to kill me. He's, said, I had a great career, but if this is the end, so be it. And then he asked Drew in the camera. He stepped into the camera where his face was half shaded. It was very interesting. I don't know if that was done with intent or just happened by circumstance, but he stepped into the camera and said, if you're prepared for this to be the end of Drew McIntyre, then I will see you in hell. And dropped the mic and walked away. But I thought that very ending, he stepped into the camera to talk to pretty much Drew. But in that, half his face was kind of blacked out, kind of shaded out. So I don't know if that was intentional or if that just happened by circumstance, but it was a good look. And this promo overall was well done. I mean, it was solid. It got the message. It got you hyped for Punk to win this match. And this is going to be a barn burner. This has to be the main event. Luckily, we know Cody and Roman Reigns are going to tag team, so that title won't be on the line. Gunther and Sami Zayn will probably be your world title match, but that could even open the show. And you could close out the show with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. The Hell in a Cell, this match is the main event. It's the only time, there's very few times in wrestling history where you're going to say, the title doesn't need to be the last match on the card because this match is just a little better. Your thoughts on CM Punk, gentlemen?
So would I say it's appropriate that CM Punk tonight was gravely serious? And it's a part of Punk that we need to see. I mean, everyone enjoys good guy Punk, you know?
Yes.
But he's best, face or heel, he's best when he's serious.
Yes.
When he's got something to sink his teeth into.
Yes.
And tonight, he gave us the return of that Punk.
Yes.
And to piggyback on that, it's you talk indie CM Punk, you talk ROH CM Punk, and it's always when he clicks that switch, it resonates with the fans very, very well. It rubs them differently and gets them excited for something. And to piggyback on the other aspect of the title doesn't need to be on the line, that story is as old as time. A grudge match can main event a show.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely could. You just want to be here in the spotlight, I see.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see it. Can't wait to see it. Yeah, I know. I'm excited to see it. Can't wait to see it at Bad Blood. Of course, that is October 5th. Also on October 5th, maybe another event that me and Mr. Z will have to be at. We don't know. We're going to have to figure out, put some pen to paper and discuss it. But Bad Blood is shaping up to be a great event. Can't wait to see it in action and come together. Our first match tonight was Sheamus versus Pete Dunne. Sheamus giving a great promo telling us don't call him Butch, but saying that Pete Dunne was going to be his Butch tonight.
I like how that worked out. If you know what he meant,
oh, exactly.
But he didn't actually have to say it.
No.
And I mean, it just worked. The wordplay was fantastic tonight.
Anyway, Sheamus Pete Dunne wrote the last chapter in their increasingly intensifying rivalry. I don't know if it's their last chapter, but they wrote a good chapter in this one. In the closing moments of the grueling battle between former friends, Dunne introduces Shillelagh to the mix, providing a distraction. After resisting the urge to utilize the weapon, and with the referee distracted, Sheamus turned directly into a cricket bat to the face that allowed the Brit to score the victory. Pete Dunne getting the pin on Sheamus here. The fans also chanted Butch as they antagonized earlier, but good solid match here. Sheamus fired up the crowd with his backstage promo, and this is a good moment here. Good solid match between Sheamus and Pete Dunne, and I think it was an enjoyable match.
Go ahead, call him that.
What? Call him what? Call him what?
I ain't saying it.
What? Hey, Pete Dunne. Miguel says your name was better as Butch. So I offer him up to the Choppy World Tour. If you'd like to be a part of the Choppy World Tour, Pete Dunne, Mr. Miguel Z is really ready to line up and take it, and he will call you Butch.
The last thing I want to do is getting something.
He always calls you Butch.
Across the pond.
He says you're a Butch. No. It's all you are. You're a Butch. That's what he told me. He goes, no, he says there was only one Butch better than you being a Butch, and that was Bushwhacker Butch. So he says you're just a little, you're not at the best Butch that's ever been in WWE. But Pete Dunne, hey, if you need to do some choppy, we offer Miguel Z. You can be a part of the Choppy World Tour. We're going to talk a little more about who may be next on that list. I got to instigate the Choppy World Tour.
Can we let my chest heal for a minute, please?
Yes, but
one was rough.
But if it's already sore, you won't feel the next one, right? You know. Who's next?
He broke skin on this one.
Anyways, backstage, Xavier Woods asked Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, and Jey Uso to let him and Kofi handle business against Judgment Day, to which the Archer of Infamy agreed. Up next was Natalya versus Zoe Starks. Natalya finally returning to action last week on Monday Night Raw in Calgary, and now here in the city of Weird, Portland, Oregon, which the announcers kept telling us all how weird Portland is and how proud they are to be weird. But and it's a beautiful city. I mean, I've been to Portland a couple times, and Portland's always a very pretty, beautiful city. Gotta love it. But anyways, Natalya did out wrestle Zoe Starks, catching her with a schoolboy roll up to secure the win and stick it to Pure Fusion Collective, which I don't know how long that's going to stay together because that name just doesn't roll off the tongue. Doesn't do anything for me, at least, to make me feel like there's anything here to get excited about. I'm definitely not buying any Pure Fusion Collective merchandise. Pure Fusion Collective makes me think that there's a new energy drink about to come out. That's about the best I get from that. Pure Fusion sounds like the name of an energy drink or some type of muscle building drink. Something. I mean, Pure Fusion Collective. It doesn't do anything for me. Afterwards, the match featured. It was acceptable. Afterwards, Lena Vega's Lyra Valkyrie came out as Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler, and they all continued their little feud here. But Natalya getting the big win here. Of course, Starks losing doesn't help that. And no. But it is what it is. Natalya coming back fresh needs a big couple of wins here, so I can't be too mad about that.
Yeah. I believe the point of using the term Pure Fusion Collective because they didn't want to use the word Fight Club. They didn't want to say, any other term. They're trying to give you the idea without actually saying, this is another stable that's meant to be some kind of mixed martial arts-esque, idea. I agree with you. To me, it doesn't work either. It doesn't work for me either, brother. But
even if they were the women of Fight Club, it still wouldn't do it for me. I mean, I know Shayna Baszler's a bad woman and can go, but and I know Sonya Deville has some training, but she's really never been presented in this like she's a great heel and she has some talent, but she's never been presented in this way as this great fighter or maintain that due to either injuries or other issues that's build a story and then something's happened and she hasn't been there. And Zoe Starks is just kind of lukewarm at best, as they don't know what to do with her. But she's here, and we're surviving this. Still heard that on air.
Sounds about right. I mean, we all know. We all know that Shayna is a bad one. Like, we know she's good on her own. We know she could do it on her own. I just don't understand why put her in a stable. We know that she can be better on her if they just let her be her and let her do her thing.
After the match, we saw Finn Balor approach Rhea Ripley backstage, talking to her, and eventually let her know that he was the devil on Dom's shoulder, telling him to leave Rhea and go for Liv Morgan. This is when Jey Uso walked up and showed he's got the Riz as he stands up for Mommy. And you know how it goes. Eat, sleep, Rhea, repeat. Anyways, after that,
definitely waiting.
Go ahead.
I'm not touching that one.
I think it's a shirt.
Definitely waiting for some eventual teasing between Jey Uso and Rhea Ripley. Like, that's gonna go somewhere eventually.
Yeah, well, I've already seen the meme. That's where I got that eat, sleep, Rhea, repeat. So we're well on our way. Anyways, after that, Jey Uso made his way to the ring to a huge ovation and wasted little time to focus its attention on the Intercontinental title. And then Braun Breaker came out and interrupted and told Uso that he never needed his daddy nor his name to achieve the success that he has in the first 6 months of his main roster career. He claimed to have done as much in a short period of time as Uso has done in 14 years. Uso took a shot at the champ's short NFL career, dodged a spear, and delivered one of his own. This was a solid moment here between Breaker and Uso to create heat and momentum between them. What is going to happen when they meet at Bad Blood? I don't know. Breaker had a great moment where I didn't need my daddy, I didn't need the name, and you're nothing without family. And of course, next week, the Intercontinental title is going to be online. Sorry, it wasn't at Bad Blood. That's right, they're going to do it next week, which kind of makes me a little disappointed. Of course, they could do it next week and run it back again at Bad Blood. But yeah, we're going to have to see. If it's on, if they do it next week, I don't know if Jey Uso is going to win. If Jey Uso is taking this match to Bad Blood, of course, they could have the match next week, something happen, and then put it on Bad Blood, and then Jey Uso wins. I think Jey Uso needs the Intercontinental title. I don't think the Intercontinental title around Braun Breaker right now is doing anything. He's still not impressing me enough to feel what he is. I guess, I don't know what Braun Breaker needs. I don't know if it's a manager. I don't know if it's just he needs to throw his actions through just being fierce and dominant. I don't know if they need to have him drop the belt to Jey Uso and send Braun Breaker back to the drawing board a little bit. Hell, let's get Scotty on TV. Let's let Scott Steiner, let Uncle Scott be the voice for Braun Breaker.
No. That man cannot do a promo. He's not physically able to do it anymore. No.
I don't know. Braun Breaker doesn't do it for me. I know he was great in NXT, but here on the main roster, they just don't seem to have the Gojo. He doesn't feel like this threat. And I'm just like, I want to see Jey Uso more with the Intercontinental title. I think Jey Uso deserves the Intercontinental title. I don't know what they're going to do here. I have a feeling that there's going to be some funky funk that's going to happen to this match. It's either going to be ending in a disqualification. Maybe this match never starts. Something funky like a monkey's going to happen, and I believe they're going to run this back at Bad Blood, which I hope they do. That's where Jey Uso should win the Intercontinental title. And then Braun Breaker can kind of go into a reset mode, or maybe he can go through and try to get back his title. Jey Uso needs to carry this title at least until WrestleMania. Maybe if you get Braun Breaker back on path, he can take the title from Jey Uso at WrestleMania. I don't know, but I mean, Braun Breaker and the Intercontinental title ain't doing anything for me. And Jey Uso needs a title, a singles title. He needs this moment. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
I think right now WWE kind of has itself. They're screwed either way. It's lose-lose.
Yeah.
Because if you put the title on Jey Uso, then what was the point of putting it on Braun Breaker and kind of trying to build him with the title? But if Jey Uso doesn't win the Intercontinental title, what happens to the main event moniker? Obviously, if he can't even win the mid-card title, come on now. So no. I mean, either way, they backed themselves in the corner. I don't know what they're gonna do to fix for both guys.
Yeah,
I could agree with that one. I don't know what they're gonna do to make that happen. Honestly, I do feel like Jey needs a solo run, a solid one, but we don't know the status of his brother and where that story's going.
So I don't think we're going to see the Usos. I don't think we're just going to see the Usos come back together as a team, except maybe at War Games and Survivor Series. I think maybe Jey may get dragged back in, but that doesn't hurt him. If he comes as the Intercontinental Champion, he brings a little more prestigiousness to that reunion of the Bloodline with his brother Jimmy. And of course, this also you could have Jimmy and Jey realign with Roman and become buddy-buddy, but then you could still have a storyline where Jimmy wants that match again. You know, he wants his day in the sun. And now that Jey has gotten the Intercontinental title, what stops Jimmy not winning from that? So I mean, in the interim, you bring Jimmy back as a babyface, but then again, maybe he turns on his brother and wants to do it one more time. Maybe they do it as babyface brothers going, we want to do this one more time. The sad part is Jay's probably going to elevate, and we're going to look at Jimmy becoming the names that we can list forever, whether it be a Tucker, whether it be the Matt Hardy, whether it be the Marty Jannetty of the Usos. Jimmy is probably going to, it's the truth.
At least Matt Hardy has been a world champion. He is considered a secondary wrestler compared to the popularity of Jeff.
Yes.
At least Matt can say he's been a multi-time world champion.
Yes. And that's where that slight difference comes in. Will Jimmy be more of a Marty Jannetty? Will he be more of a Tucker? Will he be more of the other names when they've broken up tag teams that one guy's fallen off and the other one became a star? Or will they be able to find some place to make Jimmy feel like he's more like a Matt Hardy, where Jimmy can still do something, maybe not at the main event caliber? Could he win his secondary title? I don't know. And then again, maybe you don't reintroduce Jey into the Bloodline. Right now you got Roman and Cody. Jimmy returns. There's 3. We don't know where The Rock stands. We don't know where Hikuleo is. We don't know where Zilla Fatu plays in all of this, or if they play in all of this. So this Bloodline story may not need Jey. Could use Jey. Should use Jey, but it's going to be interesting how that all comes together. We're going to have to wait and see. But I don't think the Usos are going to be a tag team again for a while. I think Jey would outshine Jimmy so bad, and I think the fans would be so disappointed in that retrospect. It was kind of like when Jeff and Matt finally broke free. It was great, and they didn't come back until the fans really wanted it. Will it happen someday down the road? Yeah, sure. There'll be a day and a time and a place, but it's going to be the right time. You know. Hopefully Jimmy doesn't be.
On top of that, I was reading an article where Jey said he would actually wants a full-time tag team run with Sami Zayn.
Oh, there you go.
At some point.
And hopefully Jimmy doesn't become the brother Devon of of the Dudley boys of the Usos either, you know.
I
Anyways,
find it interesting, though, that you seem not to want to say the name that we usually use when we're talking about the lesser stars of breakup tag teams.
who?
Is that done by design or Jannetty?
I said Marty Jannetty. Said Marty Jannetty several times.
I missed it. Somehow.
Yeah. I said Tucker, Marty Jannetty, and Matt Hardy all in there. And then I said Marty Jannetty's name several times in there. That's the main
I heard
one.
Tucker and I heard Hardy, obviously.
So.
Yeah.
Hey, to this day, the Rockers breakup will always be the greatest breakup ever to me. If there has been more since, I haven't seen it. That still to me will be.
I don't think there was a bigger.
Well, because that's the biggest shocker. Why?
Yes. Yeah, I don't think you've ever had a tag team breakup at that level with Shocker. Yes, you've had tag team partners turn on one another. Matt turning on Jeff was shocking, but not to the elevation that Shawn was. Because I don't know how many people really expecting it. It was a burn, and of course they set up, oh, we're friends, we're all good, and then he kicked him and put him through that plate glass window. It was the whole package that made that so more.
He didn't put him through it. He didn't put him through it.
Okay,
right.
Bobby the Brain Heaton. Okay, Bobby the Brain Heaton. We know he dove through it on his own volition. Marty was so scared of Shawn, he dived through the plate glass window instead of taking the door. But hey, you know, whatever. But yeah, I don't think they've ever had a tag team that broke up in any shape or form anywhere really that had that same heat or that same moment and energy like that. Now we've had shocking. I mean, you know, Seth Rollins
DIY should have been, but it was
DIY was really good. DIY was good, and the fallout, but it's just the Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels barbershop setup. There's never been that same moment.
Set the precedent.
Yeah. So. Anyway, speaking of tag team, the tag team titles are on the line. It's Judgment Day defended the titles against the New Day. The challengers were close to knocking off the champions and winning this. They were going back and forth. Eventually, the rest of Judgment Day come down. Dominic, Carlito, Liv Morgan, they come down. This distracts Xavier briefly. Then the LWO comes down and starts attacking Judgment Day because of their history, which causes more distraction. Eventually, Xavier Woods hits his elbow off the top rope, walking the top rope, uses his beautiful elbow drop, has the pin on JD, but the ref is outside after Kofi Kingston dove off the top rope and took out everybody. This distracted the ref as he was checking everybody outside. Xavier Woods had the pin for what the fans counted up to a 6 or 7 count. This upset Xavier Woods and eventually cost them the match, as moments later, Balor would recover and hit a coup de grace on Xavier Woods, costing the New Day a chance at the titles. Kofi Kingston, realizing that he messed up, crawled into the ring to comfort Woods, but Woods definitely pushed him away and was definitely very, very upset with Kofi. Xavier eventually said something has to change as he crawled out of the ring. We're seeing this continuation. Definitely Xavier Woods wearing the all-black gear while Kofi's wearing green gear. New Day's always been very colorful, and if you've been paying attention recently, Xavier Woods has been wearing very dark colors, and I think that is a very telling sign. Of course, it continues backstage as Kofi is walking through the back and finds Woods yelling at the LWO for interfering and costing him and distracting him. Sorry, people. The cat keeps wanting to be a part of the show. Kofi catches up and talks Xavier sort of back down, telling him that he asked the LWO to watch their back. Xavier Woods was not happy about this. Woods exploded, and then eventually in the back, he's tired of this. We got to change. Of course, in the back, him and Kofi talk it out, and Kofi makes the statement. Xavier asks, "Why do we need them to watch our backs? We've never had to add anybody but watch our back," and Kofi brought up the fact that we used to have E, which even upset Xavier more. I swear I can talk, because he's like, what, I'm not good enough? We can't do this on our own. I'm not good enough because I'm not E. A lot more building into the storyline that was kind of started by Karrion Kross, but this is getting better and better as we see it. I'm waiting for Woods to turn on Kofi. I don't know when this moment's going to happen. but the New Day is close to an end. It's been 10 years of the New Day, and they definitely need a refresher. They need to reset. Whether this is Xavier turning on Woods, or this is Xavier Woods turning on Kofi Kingston, or will Xavier Woods bring Kofi Kingston back to the dark side? Will we get the original New Day who weren't all about being New Day rocks? Gentlemen, your thoughts on this tag match and the fallout?
Oh,
Nobody?
man. I didn't see New Day going over to win the title, so the fact that Judgment Day found a way to retain does not surprise me. But the bigger story, obviously, is a continuing story between just the New Day, excuse me, between Kofi and Woods, and how is it going to shake out? Like, we see what the story is, we see where it's going, but the specifics are still interesting. And I think that's what keeps me hooked personally, because I want to see. Because they said, plenty of times, but they're never breaking up the New Day. They just don't want to be broken up. And it's like, well, storyline wise, this looks like a good time to do it. This looks like the story to do it. They had Aussie Jones that was kind of playing into it. Aussie Jones is gone from the company now.
We don't know if he's gone from the company.
Obviously, this story doesn't need Aussie Jones.
There has not been a actual statement that he's gone from the company. He's been removed from the roster. There was allegations of domestic violence, which they found out was not him, was another person by the same name. And I have not heard anything more about it. But I've never actually fully read a statement that he's gone from the company. I heard a lot of people say he's gone, but nobody with factual evidence ever said he's gone. And Sean Ross Sapp and a couple of the bigger names have never said he's actually gone from the company. They're just like he's removed from the active roster due to these possible allegations. So I have not heard that he is completely gone, just to make sure.
I stand corrected.
I mean, I know a lot of people did say he got fired or tried to make the statement he got fired, but I have not seen any proof of that, and we have not heard anything from WWE.
I don't expect WWE to even acknowledge it. That's why it's like, you can believe what you want, because the company ain't going to tell us anything.
I don't know. The allegations seem to not have been him. And again, it's just he was removed from the active roster, and I haven't heard any of the real names come out and actually say he was fired. I've heard they said he may not be with the company. Right. We don't know. So I just like to be careful, because that's one of those.
I've seen plenty of people who say that he's fired, but they're not the company. Mm-hmm. They're not anyone who has any real intel.
No, I see a lot of people who just said that
bringing him up though was just that.
Yeah, no,
this
I know.
Story does not need him. It would have been nice, to help another superstar kind of get into the mix. But ultimately, the real story out of all this is he's not needed.
No, he's not needed, but it was a good touch to add him in there to help move the direction and that storyline a little bit. What is going on with Odyssey Jones? We don't know for sure. He may not be with the company anymore, but I have not seen anything from a credible source. I've seen a lot of people talk about it. Oh, he was fired. But again, I don't see the credible source that's made that, yes, we know for sure. So I'm hesitant just because he's been removed from the active roster. What's her name also got removed from the active roster, but I think that's more for injury's sake and something else. So it's all a wait and see. I just saw a big shocker, and I wish I knew. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me get my 2 cents out of here so you can move on. I had to make Owen Hart reference when he said something's got to change. I was like, oh great, got enough is enough, and it's time for a change. But I've noticed too, Woodsy's gear has been darker. Will they split them up? Will it be a turn? I was thinking maybe something have to do with the Final Testament pitching in on this one, but we'll have to see.
Yes, no, I mean, at some point, something's going to happen. I don't know where we're going with the Xavier Woods, the second to darker turn. A lot of that comes out of Karrion Kross. So we'll just have to see how that plays into things going forward. Now, that is where we are. Anyways, Raw continued on as we saw Braun Strowman take on Bronson Reed, the big man Bronson Reed. And this was another good match. They are really building Bronson Reed out to be a monster. This was a continuation of this thing. They were waging war with each other in a chaotic brawl that saw the top rope break before the match ever went off. There was no official match, nor did they have to be. It was a wild, all-out brawl. They were tearing everything out. They wound up in the back, beating everybody down. At one point, Bronson Reed picked a fan out of the audience. Of course, it was probably a stagehand. It was, somebody who was there, but he took a fan out of the crowd and launched him at Braun Strowman as Braun Strowman was charging at him. But this is a great moment. They're continuing to bring Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. These two big men just tearing down everything around them, breaking each thing and everything.
This was everything that it needed to be. They didn't need to have an official match. Just beat the hell out of each other.
No.
And go towards the pay-per-view story. Head somewhere down that road.
Up next was Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn came out fired to doing what he does best. Sami Zayn promo work is great. I mean, you can't ask for anything more. Sami Zayn playing the role that he's great at, the underdog babyface that is here. He's calling out Gunther again, saying Gunther's scared of him because he beat him at WrestleMania, and Gunther knows he can't beat Sami Zayn. This brought out Ludwig Kaiser. They had a conversation. Sami Zayn started talking about Kaiser, about standing on his own, but doesn't have the balls, yada, yada. This then brought out the ring general Gunther, and he came out, and eventually Kaiser would attack Sami, and then Zayn would counter with an attack at Ludwig and stood tall as they cleared. Eventually, the bad guys would get a hold of him, and Kaiser would hold Sami's neck, or hold his head, as Gunther would tell him, Sami, regarding your challenge, my answer is, and will remain, no. Great promo package here. Ludwig Kaiser's great when it comes to mic work. He's not the most impressive thing in the ring to me, but I mean, I think he's great on the mic and helps get Gunther over. Gunther is what he is. This was solid work. You got to love Sami. Sami and Gunther is going to be another great, amazing match. The only sad part is Sami's probably not winning that title right now. But maybe you can have Sami go. Either Sami or CM Punk are probably going to be my top twos going into this end of the year to win the Royal Rumble. I think those are the two big men we're going to be seeing getting set into position going into Royal Rumble next year. It's going to be Sami or CM Punk, depending on a lot of scenarios. Your guys' thought on Sami?
I'm a little surprised that Kaiser can do a little bit more for you, just because when he's aggressive now, earlier in his career, in his WWE career, when he was just kind of there, and but I mean, in the more recent era where he's more vicious, whether he wins or loses, not whatever. But the fact that when he gets aggressive, I think Ludwig Kaiser is very good. And yes, I mean, we all praise his promo skills. So, I mean, that's already, don't even need to talk about that. Like I said, when he's getting aggressive, I'm surprised he doesn't do a little bit more for you than
I'm not a big fan of.
Feel about it.
I'm not a big fan of in-ring. The Kaiser doesn't really do much for me in-ring. Now, mic work, he's great. Mr. Z, your thoughts on any of that?
Like you cut the nail on the head. Ludwig's mic are bar none. He's so good at it. He's so good at making it look like $1 million. I just want to see where it goes next. I mean, for a minute there, they had the fans believe maybe he was going to walk away because Sami could pitch him a good deal.
And AT&T says, we hate you tonight.
Got the old haymaker. There we go.
Not only did Mr. Z take the Choppy World Tour to Supreme Pro Wrestling, AT&T is taking the Choppy to his sound tonight. It happens. It's okay. Breathe in, breathe out.
My fault.
I didn't say it was your fault.
Tired.
Anyways, up next, Bianca Belair versus Kairi Sane, but was replaced by Io Sky.
I was just doing the best stuff. My best Ski impersonation.
Okay. I got Stinsky and an impression in that conversation, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. Let's just making
It's
sure
not his fault.
No, I know it's not his fault.
Not my fault.
As long as you don't start
Not
kicking babies across the arena, we're good. And he's frozen. Frozen in time. Right there. There he goes. He's unfrozen. He's moving again. He's alive. It's alive. Anyways, up next was Bianca Belair, which was supposed to be against Kairi Sane, but Kairi Sane wasn't cleared or still injured or whatever the story was. So she took on Io Sky. This is a good, solid match between these two women. And Io Sky, the right winner for once, got the big win here to continue the feud with this new Damage Control and this team of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Can't wait to see where this goes next. And good solid match here. Io Sky win was the right direction. I don't need to see Belair win.
You don't need Super Cena? I mean, Super Belair? I mean, jeez.
Oh, boy.
No.
And what I like
that
about
was the
this
right
match
call.
the most is the fact that it didn't need a finishing move. It's like, yes, this is wrestling. You can just get, a proper pin, and it counts. Some people will look at that and go, "Oh, that's weak. It's not good storytelling." Not everything needs a finishing move. She won, and that was the point of the story. They're eventually probably going to get a women's tag team title match based off of that.
Very true. We thank you all for being here. We thank you for joining us. You can always join in the chat, join the conversation, tell us what you think about everything that went down tonight on Monday Night Raw. We were about to talk about the main event of the evening, where Damian Priest took on Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and I guess somewhere in the world we were told that Dominic is named by women across the nation as a Pretty Ricky Mysterio, or Pretty Boy Ricky. We got that information from, I believe, Wade Barrett tonight. But anyways, Damian Priest and Dirty Dom taking on one another. Judgment Day immediately attacked the numbers game. Out came Rhea Ripley to even up the ends. Eventually, Rhea tossed Liv Morgan over the announce table. And eventually, Damian Priest would get Mysterio up for a South of Heaven. The 1, 2, 3. The big win there for Priest. But after the match, Judgment Day tried to chop down the Terror Twins, only for Jey Uso to come out to help even out the odds, only to get speared by Braun Baker. Whoop-de-doo. Not a lot of things. This left Judgment Day to beat down the Terror Twins. I guess Finn Balor is going to have to beat Damian Priest, and Liv Morgan's going to have to beat Rhea at Bad Blood, because if you have them both lose at Bad Blood, what do you really do with Judgment Day? Judgment Day needs these wins. Judgment Day needs to feel more serious. Dirty Dom's a great character, and Finn Balor, as the leader of Judgment Day, needs to be built back up as the threat that we all know Finn Balor can be. We need a little bit of the Prince in Finn Balor going forward.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Did you notice that the Judgment Day were all pretty much wearing the street trash gear? The shirt merchandise? I was just like, why are they still trying to push that? I mean, calling them street trash is one thing. That's whatever. It's an insult. But why are we wearing this gear? That was more, I don't want to say entertaining, but that was the bigger story to me than this match. Because I knew it was going to be a solid TV match, but we also knew Damian was going over Mysterio for sure.
Mysterio is such a chicken hill, and gets so much heat.
Mm-hmm.
Like he needs to be the fall guy. Like, no matter what, that's his role, unfortunately. But we'll have to see where this leads into. Like Big Time was saying, the Terror Twins do not need this. They need tails at Bad Blood.
No, Raw was an overall good show. Everything's great. We're building to what is really a Bad Blood coming forward. A lot of storylines still to come out. We still have some time before Bad Blood on October 5th in Atlanta, Georgia. So we're still building on a lot of things going on. Excitement still building as we move forward along. Can't wait to see what we're going to get next week. And of course, next week we will be right back here with your Raw post-show review. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, on Patreon, you can get the New Japan Rebound podcast on Patreon. It'll be live on air on Wednesdays. And then Friday, are we getting a Mark Them We Trust this Wednesday? And Mark Them We Trust. Is Jane going to be doing her job this week?
Have to talk to Jane.
Do what?
I believe so, but I
We
never
shall.
want to talk on behalf of someone else.
Yeah, well, I too. You work closely with
You
her.
might be mad that Marty left. I don't know.
Anyways.
For all we know, Jane could be in mourning because of Marty.
Well, cool.
Yeah, there you go.
You work more closely with Jane. That's why I asked, because I don't know whether to promote it or not. Fridays, we'll be back with your SmackDown post-show review. There is nothing this Saturday. Sunday, we'll be back with the Weekly Roundup podcast. This Weekly Roundup podcast is going to the big celebration. As I look at the numbers right now, we are standing at 1,090 subs, which means we hit the 1,000 mark, ladies and gentlemen. So on Sunday, the Weekly Roundup, 8 p.m. Pacific time, will be the Value of Wrestling's big celebration for 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you're here.
We're going streaking. No, play.
And this is why we call you Tasty Toast.
Tasty Toast, Tasty Toast. Just put your foot in your mouth.
Well, you don't have to do that yet. But aren't you supposed to have a shoe?
Yes. Well, we're going to get into that because coming up on Sunday, Mr. Clarke will give us the infamous Clarke dance. He's got a little bit of Nana. I don't know what else he's got in there. Maybe he's got a little bit of the DOS Wonder Kid, Alex Wright in there. Maybe he'll bring us a little Disco Inferno throwback. Maybe he'll bring us a little Mick Foley as he played Dude Love. We don't know what we're going to get, but make sure you're here for the Sunday Dance Revolution with Mr. Paulus Clarke. He is going to bring you a dancing show that you will not want to miss. And then Mr. Z,
bring your dollar bills, folks. Bring your dollar bills.
I wish we could do donations on that one. That would be awesome. Anyways, and Mr. Z is going to fulfill his requirement of doing a shoey. Just hopefully he does it with clothes on, because he seems to want to strip and run around and celebrate. Of course, if he does decide to take his shirt off again, I'm going to have somebody lined up to chop it, so he'll put his shirt right back on.
Oh man, no! They made me go bare chested in this one. I felt violated.
I was wondering about that. I was like,
you can't violate.
Told me, nope. Take it off.
You can't violate the willing. I'm
geez.
Sorry to tell you that one. You were a willing participant. You knew it was coming. Speaking of Choppy World Tour, can we continue it maybe this Friday, as we found out this Friday, in Rancho Cordova from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Cricket Wireless in Rancho Cordova. Of course, this Friday, SmackDown is going to be in Sacramento, California for the Golden One Center. But, yeah, Bailey will be doing a meet and greet at Cricket and Rancho Cordova. Maybe me and Mr. C get up there. Maybe we convince Bailey to join the Choppy World Tour. Will Bailey give the Choppy to Mr. Z? Or will Mr. Clarke boycott all that out of jealousy? But,
Mr. Clarke, get your cameras ready. We'll get a 5-second pose.
Mr. Clarke's trying to figure out how to get on that midnight train to California so he can be in Sacramento on the 20th. But if not, then the next big call out's going to happen on September 28th at Lodi Comic-Con. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can check the description below, LodiComicCon.com. That's the link to get to all the information on Lodi Comic-Con. Tickets start at $5. You can go on to LodiComicCon.com. The link's in the description of this video below. You can buy your tickets online. You can see all the guests that are going to be there signing autographs. Two big names in the world of professional wrestling are going to be there. Shelton Benjamin and the first ever IWGP Intercontinental Champion.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The first ever IWGP Intercontinental Champion, the 305 MVP. Yes, MVP himself is going to be there. 2/3 of the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley may be around. We don't know. But anyways, we are looking at you, MVP, to join the Choppy World Tour. This man a big fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling and mad respect for the fact that you are the first ever IWGP Intercontinental Champion, and he wants to see if you can reach the level of Choppy like a Matt Cardona who set the bar, and then Shima broke that bar and set a whole new standards. So MVP, if you're watching, if you're in tune, and I'm sure this whole video will be tweeted out and this conversation will be put out there, and we've already put out a tweet, but we're calling you out, MVP, to join the Choppy World Tour, brought to you by the Value Wrestling as we go on the Choppy World Tour. If you would like to chop Mr. Z, hey, just reach out to us, valuewrestling@gmail.com, or jump on any of our X's and reach out and go, I'm a wrestler and want to join the Choppy World Tour. Maybe we can make that happen. Hey, AJ, we're going to be seeing you on Saturday, September 28th at Lodi Comic-Con. We're going to be doing there. We are finally going to get to sit down and do that beautiful interview that we're going to been waiting for, to sit down and really deep dive into the story of AJ Kirsch. Could we do a double Choppy World Tour 2 in one day? Can we get AJ Kirsch to Choppy, Mr. Z, and MVP? And heck, you know what, Shelton, you want to join in? Shelton, if you want to join in, we'll let you join the Choppy World Tour as well. 3 chops, 1 day, all could happen at Lodi Comic-Con, and we are so blessed, the privilege that Lodi Comic-Con is opening the doors for the Value Wrestling to come to this event. We thank everybody there. Lodi Comic-Con, it's a fun time, it's a fun event. Lodi Comic-Con is Lodi's version of Comic-Con. It's affiliated with Stocktoncon, which we were at this summer, and we'll of course be at Stocktoncon this winter. We are ready for that one. That's going to be a fun show. But Lodi Comic-Con, it is what it is. For you pop culture freaks, for you anime people, you got to get out to Lodi Comic-Con on September 28th. All the wonderful stuff, whether it's Funko Pop collecting, whether it's collectibles, whether it's artwork. There are some amazing artists and some amazing people who do some amazing work that are at these events. Some of these guest stars are amazing. You get to sit here, meet your these people that you could only think about meeting. You get to spend a little bit of time with them, get something autographed. Lodi Comic-Con, a fun time. And it's going from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Great Festival in Lodi. $5 is where tickets start. So, I mean, you can go to Lodi Comic-Con. The link's in the description below. The Value Wrestling is definitely proud to support the Lodi Comic-Con. And we're proud that we're going to be able to be there. So come meet us. We'll be there. Come say hi. We're going to be walking around. We're going to be shooting videos. SPW, Supreme Pro Wrestling, is going to be there doing some live wrestling shows at Lodi Comic-Con. So that's going to be going on. So we'll probably be a part of that, doing some live action, doing some interviews with them. We'll probably be going around the event, taking a lot of photos and other things to promote Lodi Comic-Con. And we will tell you, you need to get out to Lodi Comic-Con on September 28th. It's a great day for Saturday, wherever you are, Bay Area, Northern California, Reno, Nevada, up in the mountains, Southern California, Fresno, wherever you are. Get to Lodi on September 28th for a Lodi Comic-Con. It's going to be a fun time. And we want you to be there. Not only that, you're going to get to see some great actions from Supreme Pro Wrestling. Mr. Z.
You know, if it's anything like last night, I mean, these fans are in for a hell of a show when they watch it.
Yeah. No, Lodi Comic-Con is going to be a fun event. You need to be there. SPW is going to be there doing live action. They're even going to stay. If you want to come up for a weekend in Lodi, there are some great wineries in the Lodi area. If that's your thing, you can have some taste testing, some samples, take some winery tours. Come out to Lodi Comic-Con between 11 and 5. Maybe you set those up before or after you're doing the Lodi Comic-Con. The very next day, they're going to have a card show. So I'm sure that's just not sports cards. That's probably going to be all your card collectors, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh!, the Pokemon card. I'm sure it's going to be a card show for the fans. And again, SPW's already decided they're going to keep their ring up overnight, and they're going to come back on that Sunday, which would be September 29th, to do another set of live wrestling events. And they're going to be there doing that both Saturday and Sunday in Lodi. So, I mean, both these events are going to be there, all going on. It's going to be a fun time. So maybe you make a whole weekend of coming up to Lodi, come up Friday evening, come down Friday evening, wherever you're at. You need to get to Lodi. And then on Saturday, me, Mr. C, are going to be there representing the Value Wrestling. You need to tell us hi. We're going to be showcasing this event. We're going to be having interviews. We got AJ Kirsch to talk to. Hopefully we get to talk to Shelton Benjamin, maybe MVP briefly. Maybe we can help them get a little screen time. Who knows who else is going to be there. We're going to catch up with our buddies at SPW. We'll probably touch base with Scoot to give us an update on everything else going on. And, of course, Supreme Pro Wrestling is in the link in the description below. They have a Facebook page. You can go to that Facebook page. It's going to give you all the details of when, where, and what they're going to be doing in the future. Because we know also not only on October 20th, which is the third Sunday, and of course every third Sunday of the month, SPW comes to you live from the indoor soccer arena in Elk Grove, California. Of course, we call it the SPW Arena. It's what it should be labeled. But they do live action every third Sunday of every month. And this third Sunday in October will be their big event for Frights, Ghouls, and Tights. Or Ghouls, Frights, and Wrestling Tights. Now I got it right. That's going to be the big event going on there.
There you go.
There's going to be some great action. I believe Jekyll's will be taking on Goldmine for his SPW title. And I hope I'm hitting that name right. It's Goldmine. We're getting corrected on some of these. Kind of like, what is it? Guapo Lupe? I think we were saying Guadalupe. It's Guapo Lupe. We're getting these names down. We're going to get better. We got to get more familiar with some of the names and the talent that are part of the show. But I do believe that if you go watch The Scoop with Scoot and the former star of Value Wrestling, Marty Richards, you'll get to hear all the details about what's going on when it's Ghouls, Frights, and Wrestling Tights. It's going to be a fun time. And there's going to be a costume battle royal going down on that day. So that's going to be awesome to watch and see. So big moments there. Also, as it may have announced or was announcing on the other channel, Supreme Pro Wrestling is going to be in Auburn, California at Crooked Lane Brewery in Auburn, California, October 5th. When we get more details, we'll make sure we'll advertise that. We will let you know if the Value Wrestling is going to be there for that event or not. We still have to make plans and reservations and figure out how we're going to work into that. But we'll definitely be at the October 20th show in Elk Grove, California, so make sure you are there for that when that goes down, because that's going to be a fun time in the old town, as it always is. Anything else we should cover tonight, gentlemen?
I think we're good for tonight.
I think we've hit everything. We've talked about everything. Supreme Pro Wrestling was an amazing show with Plead the Fifth last night. Me and Mr. Z had a blast. Marty Richards showed up. He did his thing. Unfortunately, sometimes things just don't go according to plan. But hey, it was a fun time. We got the Choppy World Tour. We got the number 2 name on that list. That's pretty awesome. Matt Cardona, look what you started. And now we just got to get other people on board and make this a fun time. But make sure you're at Lodi Comic-Con, September 28th. We're going to be there. That's going to be the next event. And to make sure you're here Sunday for the weekly roundup. If you don't come back Friday for the SmackDown post-show review, be here Sunday. We got the Dance Revolution with Mr. Clarke. And we got the Big Shoey with Mr. Miguel Z. And then you can figure out how to sign up. We are going to take names in some form or fashion to do a raffle for a action figure. I'll have to figure out what action figure that's going to be. Yeah. We're going to be giving that away and sending it out to a lucky winner of this. That's a subscriber. 1,090 subscribers, gentlemen, as we sit right this moment. 1,090. Did you ever think...
Wow.
We get there. Did you ever think it would just happen? Did you ever just wonder, could it really happen?
I thought we would eventually get there. I just didn't think it would happen as fast as it wound up happening.
No, and it... Again, thank you, folks. We are very appreciative of the run we're on right now.
Yeah, that rocket ship just came in and it blasted off, and we're having a lot of fun. And I think a lot of it has to do with what we're doing here and the fact of the matter that we're working with Supreme Pro Wrestling. Hopefully, we'll be working with some other independent companies as we move forward. But right now, our energy and our focus is on Supreme Pro Wrestling. They've been so good to us, to welcome us in, invite us into their house, and be a part of their family. But make sure you ring that bell for notifications. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, join the Value Wrestling family. It's going to get it more fun as we move forward. And if you want to sit down and watch some of the great videos and content that we have on this channel, we need you guys to watch a lot of these videos. It's going to be a big deal because once we get all these videos watched and we get this time, there's going to be a lot of great changes, a lot of things moving forward with the Value Wrestling. We appreciate you for being here. Gentlemen, tell them good night. We're going to sign out.
Good night, folks.
This is the Value of Wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.